Let's talk about it with criminal defense attorney David Bruno. And David, this is a decision that's multi-layered, yet a unique jury. They asked questions throughout this entire process, and they were they were thought-provoking questions, let's face it. And in fact, to the point where the defense wanted one of the jurors removed because they felt like the way the questions were going, that person was maybe biased against them. Let's talk timing, given the complexity of all of this. Fair to say it's going to take them possibly a while to come to a verdict.
Yeah, absolutely. Great analysis. I mean, we just showed the list of the cause of actions that the jury has to consider, and those are complicated. There's elements to each one of them, and that's just on the law. I mean, let's not forget, as a jury, they're also the fact finder. There's a lot of facts in dispute here. There's two ways to look at this as to the involvement of the mother and what role she played and how the hospital responded to facts and things known to them at the time. So this jury has to be both the fact finder and determine what the credible evidence is and then apply it to the law. And in the lead up to this, we heard that there was a question surrounding the economic damages about the report. I mean, this is a sizable amount that's being requested by the plaintiff. If the jury is in that ballpark right now, and they're talking about damages, well, one would think they have already passed maybe one of the cause of actions to lead to possible damages. So if I were the plaintiff's attorney, I'd feel comfortable knowing that that is an issue being discussed in the room.
Yeah, you know you're not going to get the big goose egg, which of course is the fear when you do roll the dice, which they did on some level. They put in a lot of money and time to get to this point, the plaintiffs. So in a case like this, we heard great closings, especially, I thought the defense was fantastic, the way that they went through and really laser focused in on the inconsistencies with what was happening with Maya. At the end of the day, the hospital is separate from the state that made these decisions to hold Maya away from her parents, et cetera, et cetera. Are you surprised that if there is a win here, that there's a win? Because I don't know. When you look at it, would you take the emotion out of this thing and if you didn't watch the documentary, I don't see that these people, the hospital, would be held liable possibly just because of the clear, the differences between mandatory self-report or mandatory reporter and maybe a wrong diagnosis. These are human beings.
Yeah. Let's not forget, this got to the jury. Right there are certain cause of actions that are so clear-cut when factual issues are not in dispute that could be resolved through summary judgments in the civil matters, right? And it's always dangerous when this gets to the jury, and they got it in their hands. They have the ability to find for liability and damages. So we shall see how this all develops.
Here's Ethan Shapiro, the defense, part of his close, basically saying that this wasn't misery. Take a listen.
Nurse Cook talked about bringing the mission of Jesus to her work every day and bringing the healing touch of Christ to her parents, to her patients. She brought Maya gifts. Maya wrote a little heart behind her name. This is who All Children's is. This is who All Children's is. Lisa Reck, a bedside nurse, the spa days, the nail days, Halloween, helping her with Harley Quinn makeup. She brought her laundry home to make sure Maya had clean clothes. She was nominated by Maya for a Daisy Award. This is who All Children's is. This is who All Children's is.
From that question which you talked about from the jury, it does seem like they've gotten over that first hurdle. Are you surprised, or did you think that this was maybe going this way?
Let's not forget, so many causes of actions there. I mean, you got whether or not the hospital breached the duty that they owed to the patient and the family, and then the more intentional, the inflictions, the false imprisonment. There's a lot to choose from of the menu of causes of action, and all it really needs is one to get to damages. But it's interesting to hear, right, that theme over and over again, this is all children. He is trying to humanize the witnesses and the decisions. And hindsight is always 20/20. We can look back on whether or not they did the right things, but it's really important to for the jurors to put themselves in that frame at the time, what they had, when they had it, and what they did. And this is a very emotional case. You said, let's take the emotion out of it, but oftentimes in the jury, when we have jurors deliberating on facts and law, it's very, very hard to take the emotion out of it. So anything could happen in this jury room with this verdict.
You're right, and it was you have a little girl that lost her mother, and she took the stand and was compelling, and emotion was just seething out of this courtroom, and it was a huge part of it. Even the close, we saw that little clip where the defense or the plaintiff attorney broke down at the end of his close. Let's get a break in here. Coming